Welcome to Microsoft Office Word 2016. Today, we are going to deal with some pertinent issues in Microsoft Office Word, which is called layout. You remember we have treated the home key, the insert, design, and today we are looking at the layout options to see what are they in the layout tab. When you click on the layout tab, you are going to see the subgroup, which will have the page setup here in this environment. Then we have the paragraph group here and the arrange group. These are the only things that are there in the layout option in Microsoft Office Word 16. Now, to change the margin of your document or to adjust the margin, you click on the margin options here. And you see we have last custom setting, we have normal, we have narrow, we have moderate, wide, and mirrored. Depending on how you want to set the margin of your document, these are the available options that are there for you. For instance, we have our text. Let's generate our dummy text like this here, in the dummy text, and then you discover that the margin that you have for this document is not the way you want. For instance, we want the whole of this page to fill to one page only. And we want to maintain the font style here. We don't want to change anything. So to adjust your margin, you just click on the margin here, then make it narrow. Do you see this place? The distance between the write-up area and the edge of the page here is where we technically call margin. Now, our margin here is narrow. That is why you see the entire of this text now is filled to one page. Why? Because we have adjusted the margin. Depending on the type of document you want to create, adjusting margin is very important because it allows you to create a document with a precise direction of margin. For instance, now when we need moderate margin, when we click on the moderate, it's telling us here the bottom is 1, left is 0.75. The bottom is 1, right is 0.75. But you see in the case of the narrow is 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, everything. So there are many ways to adjust your margin in Microsoft Office Word 16. For instance, now you can set your margin by double clicking on this area. Can you see this place? When you double click on it like this, you have your margin options here. In the margin, we have top, which is 0.5, left, which is 0.5, gutter, which is 0. Then the bottom of it is also 0.5, then the right is 0.5, and the gutter position is left. This is the narrow option. So you can also adjust it to any size that you wish. For instance, the normal margin in Microsoft Office Word is 1, left, top also 1, then the bottom is also 1, and then the right is also, when you delete it, you type 1, and you click OK. So this is the normal option of the margin in Microsoft Office Word. So this is 1 inches here, 1 inches here. So this is what we call, and the entire environment is 6 inches. So when you add 1 inches, 2 inches of the left and the right to the 6 inches, you are going to get about 9 inches of document. So this is how to set a margin. Very simple. Let me repeat it for confirmation. Click on the margin here, then select normal if you want to make it normal. Then otherwise you can select narrow to make it a narrow margin. It's very simple like that. I hope you understand. Now the next thing in our layout option is we need to click on the page orientation. We have only 2 orientation in Microsoft Office Word 16. These orientation are portrait here, which is the normal orientation. When you load Microsoft Office Word, it automatically loads with the portrait option. Otherwise, you want to make it landscape, you just click on the landscape. The landscape is that you make your page white, like you place your page to the landscape. Now let's see the 2 examples of this landscape and then the portrait in our margin. Let's add another page here. and select this page that we have added to be portrait, so that we see clearly the difference between landscape and portrait. Let me minimize everything here so that we see it clearly. Now this is page 1. Let's go to page 2 here, and then get our dummy text, which is random text that will generate to get our examples. So let's see, random text like this, open bracket, close bracket, enter. Now let's say this page 2 of our document, we want to change the orientation of page 2 to landscape. Sorry, I'm missing out something here. So let me select this entire place and make it and change the orientation to landscape. Still I miss it again. Now to change the orientation of an extended page to landscape, you need to click on the orientation page here. Sorry, let me maximize it very clear like this. So we need to change it to 2 sections. We need to break it to 2 sections. So we are going to break here. Remember, we treated this line break, this page break in insert, where we have insert page break. Do you remember in our previous class? So it's the same thing here. So we click on the break here. Okay, let's place the video. Let's place our keyboard, our cursor, the position of cursor to be on the first word and the in the first line of the second page. Then we click on break. Then we scroll down to page break and we click page break. Now we have break these 2 pages. There are 2 different things. Now let's see if we can change it to landscape. Do you see? Very clear, fantastic, very good. So this one is portrait, while this one is landscape. This one we're talking about. Now these are the 2 orientations of page we have in Microsoft Office Word 16. Now the next thing to do is we want to see the next function in our layout, which is called size. Now in this size is where you select the size of the page you want. Sometimes you will be required to select the page of the document. You will be given a directive. Set your work as letter or A4 or legal executive, depending on what you want to create. So this letter and A4, they are close but they are different. Can you see this one is 8.5 times 11, while this one is 8.27 times 11.69. That means that letter and A4 are 2 different things. Then we have legal, which is 8.5 times 14, which is also a little bit different with letter and also with A4. So majority of the works today we have in Microsoft Office Word, we use Microsoft Office Word in either 16 or whatsoever version. Majority of work of the sizes we use is A4. Depending on your printer and what document you want to create, you are free to select any option here. We have many sizes of paper. We have envelope in case of developing wedding card and etc. So you are free to try all these sizes of document to see how your document will look like. This is what it entails here. So to change your work to A4, you just scroll down and click A4. You see, just little with just some little changes or variation. So we are proceeding. I hope you understand what we have done here now. Now the next thing is column. This place is very important. Setting the column of your document tells you how to make your document 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, or you select the column to the left or to the right depending on what you want to create. Let's see what this column is doing. For instance, we want to set a column to this document. We want this document to look like the 2 columns document. Let's highlight everything by clicking down on the left mouse button, then we drag downward. So then we click on the columns here and make it 2 columns. Do you see? Fantastic. Just like the pages in some textbooks, in the Holy Quran, in Bible, and etc. So this is the 2 column document. It has matched this document to 2 column, which is very easy for us to see, to read, and then to understand. Now the next thing is, if we want to make this document 3 columns, How do? We do the same thing. We select everything there, then we click on the column and then make it 3 columns. Simple. It converts our work automatic to 3 columns. In case you are asked to convert a document, or you have seen a document of 1, 2, 3 columns before, this is how it is formatted. This is how you use, this is how you create a document of 2, 3, 4 columns. We have many columns option. When you click on the more here, you see more columns. That means you can have one document with multiple columns layout. Now let's see, for instance, we want this page that is landscape. We want the first line here to remain 1 column, but the remaining lines here to become 2 columns. How to do this? Let's select them like this, then click on our column here, then come to the more columns and then click on the more columns. So it says selected text. That means the text that we have selected here, this text that we have selected, this is what we need. So now we say selected text, apply to selected text. That means we want to apply 2 columns to selected text. Then we click OK. You see, the first line here is 1 column, but the remaining 2 here are what? The remaining, the preceding text here is 2 columns. This is how to set columns to a document. It's very simple. It's not headache. Let me do it again so that we see and we understand, since we are dealing with practicals. Now let's press Ctrl Z. I'm pressing Ctrl Z here from my keyboard, which you cannot see. I'm very sorry for that. Now when you select the whole work like this and you say, oh, for instance, we want to make these 2 columns, just select everything. Why am I selecting it? Because I want only this portrait page to be affected. I don't want this landscape page to be affected. Otherwise, I will just click on the columns like this and make everything 2 columns. You see, everything will become. Sorry, I have. If you remember, I have break these 2 pages. They are not different. They are not the same thing. That is why you see it is only 1 page that is formatted 2 columns, because they are not 2 different things. I break them. When I click on the page break here, if you can remember, I click on the page break and then I have selected next page. That means insert a section break and start the new section on the next page. That means this is a new section of the page. So whatsoever thing I do here, it will not be affected by this one naturally, because they are not separated, they are break already. So this is all about columns. So to have a document of more than 1 columns, you select it like this, then you click on the columns here, then you go to more columns. So here in the more columns, you are free to choose any column of your choice. Then you click OK. And if you remember very well, there is another thing. Sometimes you see a document with a columns and a line, also a line separating the columns. How to do that? It's very simple. For you to get this kind of document that has 2 columns, and then the documents that have more than 1 columns and all columns are having lines with them, is you click on the columns here, then you go to more columns. When you click on the more columns, you see this environment. They say line between. That means you need line between the columns. So click on the line between columns and select OK. Do you see that? Very fantastic. We start building our fantastic document like this. So anyway, you see a document formatted like this, you know what they do and how you can also create your own to be more wonderful and fantastic and be looking very good like this one. Now I think for now we have understood what column is all about. We are moving to the next thing. The next thing is break, which I have already done it here. But let's see, how can we benefit from this break? This break, apart from separating our document to section, we still have an advantage over it. What can we do to benefit from it? Let's delete everything here and then let's see how this break will help us. I want to start something different, entirely new. I want to create a document that has many pages in it. Document with many pages. I have copy and paste all these things so that I get about, in my status bar here, I have about 4,000 603 words document, and the document contains 18 pages here. So let me restore my margin to normal so that we see what we're doing very clear. This is normal margin. So I still want to change my page orientation to portrait for clarity. Now this document is the document that has the orientation to portrait. We want to see how this page break will help us. Let's assume this document, you see, can you see the change here in the status bar? My status bar has changed. It's telling me that I now have 22 pages, and then the number of words that I have remain the same. Now, to benefit a lot from the page break, we need to see how we can apply it. Let's take, for instance, this is the document. This is the cover page of this document, and then as the cover page of the document, we want it to be separated with the other things. Let's assume this is the project of somebody with the name Danladi Ishaku, like this. So now this my Ishaku is having problem. Okay, sorry, it's H. So now this is Danladi Ishaku document, and this is the first page. Maybe he's a PhD student. Maybe this is his thesis he want to submit. Maybe he's in the University of maybe Limpopo. So now this is the first page of the document. We want to benefit from the break. What break will help us in formatting this document? Let's say, for instance, we need a document that has, from the preliminary pages, Roman numbers. Then from chapter 1 to chapter 5, Arabic numbers. So page break will allow us to break our work into two sections. Start numbering from Roman numbers and then finish it with Arabic numbers. Now let's see how this will help us. Now, before we move to any other thing, let's create page number for the document. Do you remember we have tutored insert, where we have created how to teach you how to insert page number? So we click on the page number here, we come to the button of pages, then we select our page number. Click on the page number, insert here, then we click on the page number here, we come to the button, then we select our page number. You see we have our page number, which is Arabic number. Now let's say the 5th page of this document is prelims. This is page 2, this is page 3. Can you see the 3 here? This is page 4. So this is page 5. So now from page 5 here, we want to break. We want to break this page 5 so that this one start as chapter 1. So let's give this one chapter 1, and then press Ctrl E to make it center, select it like this, and then press Ctrl B to make it bold, and press Shift F3 to make it capital letter. Now this is chapter 1. So we want from this page 1 upward to have Arabic numbers. Then from this chapter 1 downward to have what do we call it? From the preliminaries we want Roman numbers. Then from chapter 1 downward we need Arabic number. So for now the whole number is uniform. So now we want to break it. Now I want to go to page 5. Instead of scrolling down, I use my shortcut keys. I press Ctrl G. Ctrl G is to go to a specific page. So I type 5. So I'm telling my computer dialog box here that I want to go to page 5 of this document. Then I press go to. Now I'm in page 5. You see, if you check your status bar here, it's telling me that I am in page 5. Now from the first line here of page 5, or let's go to the last page, from page 5 where I have my chapter 1. I want to break it so that I have two different page numbers in the same document. Now I click on the layout here, then I click on the break. Then I scroll down to this place where it says insert a section break and start the new section on the next page. So I click section break. So now it's automatically telling us that I have break this section. When you bring your cursor here, it will tell you that this is the top margin. When you double click here, like you want to see the header and footer, it will tell you that this is a header of section 2. Well, this is the footer of section 1. It's automatically telling you that this document is the document of 2 sections. So now let's double click here to see this one. I'm just showing you to understand that we have really break this document into 2 sections. Now I click on the page number here. Let's go. I press Ctrl Home to go forward. I want to change the page number for the section 1. So I click on the insert, then I click on the page number here, then I select my button of page. Sorry, it's already at the button. I want to change it, so I click on the format page numbers. So I click on the format, then number format. This is Arabic number, so I want to change it to Roman number. So I click here and then select Roman numbers. So I click OK. Then let's scroll downward gradually and see what happened. Let's see it. Can you see it? So it changed already to Roman numbers. So let's scroll to our page 5 where we have a new section there. You see what will happen on our page 5. This is page 4. Well, I'm still scrolling. This is page 4. This is the page 5. Now in page 5 of this document, you see this is 5 in Roman numbers. So let's see the proceeding. What happened? It automatically, you see this one is Arabic number. But the problem is that instead of starting at 1, it continues number from the previous section but having different formatting. Now what do? We need to change the format of this one also. Since I'm in page 6 of this document, automatic, I will click on the page number here, also click on the format page number and then say start at. You see this place? So it's already Arabic. I want to leave the remaining of the document to be Arabic, but still I want to change. I want it to start at 1. So you see this, they say start at. So I select it like this, I click. So it start at 1. Then I select OK. Can you see? Fantastic. Automatic is started at 1. This is very important. It's helpful in formatting document. Even among the professionals, many are battling on how to set this kind of document, one document with 2 numbers. So you can set as many number style as you want. Now if you want the proceeding document to have alphabet as the pagination to be alphabet, that is A, B, C, D, we can also have a section break. When we click on the layout, we also break the section again to 4-3. You can have document of many sections. This is all about the page break and many more things to it. Let's proceed. I think the next thing here is the line numbers. Lines number is nothing bigger. There's no any big issue with it, as they say here. They said this is the when you click on the line numbers here, how they pop up. Information is saying reference specific lines in your document quickly and easily using line numbers in margin. It automatically adds lines to every word in the margin. So if you want to go to, let's say, line 3 of the document, when you just press Ctrl G, line so it will tell you. Now let's see it practically. Click on this and say continuous. So do you see automatic? It added number to every line. This is line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. It is helpful sometimes in document formatting. You can easily reference it. You can say go to your line 27 of this document, sir, and correct the coordinated here, correct it to something different. You see, it's very simple. And in order to go to a specific line without stress, you can press Ctrl G here, and then you say enter page number option. Let's say it's not page number I'm looking for. Let's say it's line number. So I come here to select lines instead of page. Can you see it in the dialog box here? So I select line. So I say I want to go to line 30. Then you press go to. Do you see? This is line 30. So line 30 is here. Automatic, it takes us there. When we need to go to line 2, just press 2 like this and press OK. Can you see? our cursor position is in line 2. This is all about line number. It's very simple. I know you have seen it and you have enjoyed it and you have understood it already. This is what is called hyphenation. The next thing there, hyphenation. Hyphenation, if you like, you can make it automatic hyphenation, then you can select it as manual, or you remove it completely. Now let's remove this line number here by clicking on the none. When we click on the none, so we have our line numbers removed automatically. And let's see the hyphenation here. Hyphenation also tells us some information. Let's see, when a word runs out of room, words normally moves it down to the next line. When you turn on hyphenation, word hyphenates it instead. Just like you see in books or magazines, hyphenation helps create more uniform spacing and save space in your document. So this is all about hyphenation. There is not anything big about it. Now, when you set it, you say you need automatic hyphenation. Anywhere you press enter, you will see your hyphenation will take place automatic. Now, let's do something. Let's make it none, and then let's try to see it practical so that we understand what hyphenation is all about. So now, this is our work, which is Ctrl B. I have removed the borderlines of the work. Now, I'm assuming I am typing, so I say this class is recorded for student consumption. Now my consumption is having spelling problem. Now, and automatic, when you continue typing and the instructor of this class is absent, so my absent is having problem also. Now when you see something like this, as I type to the and the word automatically wrap to the next pages. Now when we say we need our hyphenation here to be automatic, that is where it continue going. But when we change it to, sorry, this is hyphenation, when we say we want it to be manual, so hyphenation is complete, telling you that we have completed it. Let me delete the instruction here, and then let's make it manual hyphenation. So sorry, hyphenation is complete, and the class is not noisy because what am I doing? Sorry, pardon me. It's noisy because so I'm coming. When I come in person, I will explain this hyphenation very well for you to see. Now we have only two options, like I have said. Automatically hyphenate document, hyphenate words in caps letter, line consecutive hyphens to no limit. You can limit the number of lines to hyphenate, and etc. When it is manual, then you can click and make it manual. Don't worry about this place, I'm coming to explain it myself. So let's move to the next thing. This is indentation and spacing. It's very simple. It's indentation and spacing. You remember, you can indent your text. Now when we say this 0 to become 0, let's say 0.5 left, and then can you see the way it's indented? This is how it's indented. Can you see it here? Now when we make it 1, I'll make it 1, and then we click. Can you see this is indented by 1 inch? This is 1 inches indentation. Can you see the ruler here? Ruler is telling us the inch. From here, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 here, to 4 here, to 5 inches, to 6 inches, and then to 7 inches here. So this is how the word is indented. Now sometimes you've been given a work and you'll be given some instructions: indent left paragraph to 1 inches, then right paragraph to 0.5. This is how you do it. 0.5, right? Sorry, instead of 0.5 I wrote 5. It should be 0.5. So can you see the way it's indented here to 0.5? That means it's half inch. So 0.5. Can you see it here? So it's indented like this. So this is how words are formatted and indented. Well, this is before. This is talking about the paragraph. How to create paragraph space. You want before the paragraph, how many points do you want? Then after the paragraph, how many points? So this is where you set it. As you see it here, it says change how much space appears above the selected paragraphs. To apply the same spacing to your whole document, use the paragraph indentation. So let's see what is after also. Spacing after the paragraph is the same thing. Now this is paragraph 1, and the front to make your document look professional, produce is paragraph 2. Now let's set it to see the point there. Now let's make this one 0.5 point. 0.5, and then let's make, can you see it I'm coming, can you see it? This is 6 point. Can you see the way it's increasing? 18 point. Can you see 0.12, 18, 24? Can you see the way I'm increasing the point? So this is how to do it. So by default, Microsoft Office Word allowed it to be, I think is 8 points. So let's make it 8 point. This is the default point. Well, by default, before is 0 point. Let's also make it 0 point and allow it like this. So this is how to increase point, and anytime you are asked to indent it by left, so number, so inches, this is how to do it. Then the spacing and etc. This is all about the layout and etc. etc. Now the next thing we have is the arrange. This arrange deals with object. That is why you see the position is not highlighted, the wrap text is also not there, bring forward is not responsive, send back, all these are not responsive. Why? Because we don't have any object here imported into this document. Let's press Ctrl A to delete everything. Then let's insert an object. Let's click on the object here. Sorry, I want to use shapes rather. Let's click on the shape. I love working with shapes because shapes give me what I want. Now you see, as we insert our shape, you see all these places they become responded now because we are going to deal with shape here. You remember we have treated the layout options in home and still we have it here. This is the position. How do you want to position this this object with text? Assuming we have written something here and we still have object to contend with. Now let's see how to position them practically for the sake of those that have missed our previous class. Now this is Microsoft Office Word 16. Don't forget, sorry. Let's insert our shape here. This is the shape. Sorry, let's use picture rather, so that we can also benefit from it sometimes when we're working with picture. So I want to use my picture this time around and then write something about it. So let's see my picture here. If I don't have any picture, then I have no option than to stop. I think this is one of my pictures. So now I have inserted this picture here. So let me resize the picture to a considerable size that we can all benefit from. Now this is the picture. The positioning here, when I select, when I click on this, that means I can drag this picture downward here and have my text, some text over it and some under it. This is what this option is saying. Can you see example of picture here in line with text? That means you can have the picture in line with your text. So the next thing here is the position in top left with square. Can you see the environment? So this is telling you how to arrange the picture. This is all about the positioning of the object in Microsoft Office Word 16. I hope you have understood it. We have treated it in home, or sorry, in insert with some of you that are present in our previous class. This is very simple. It's easy to use. There's no any difficulty about it. Let's still go back to our layout and then click on this picture. Can you see if we are click on the text, all this environment, they will not respond. Do you see? They will all not respond, but when I click on the object here as a picture, you see they will respond. Now wrap text, how to wrap the text tight through top and bottom, behind, in front. This is how you want your text to be wrapped. When you say behind text, that means your object will appear but the text will be behind. When you say in front of text, you are making your picture to become in front of text. You can edit the text here and using all the point. Now this is, there are like similar things there with what we treated, but they are sometimes different to some extent. So the next thing is to bring forward or send backward. Sometimes you may have two pictures that you want to combine together. So you can decide to bring one picture forward and another backward, or in front of text or behind the text. Now let's make this one, let's bring it forward. So we have only one, we cannot understand. Let me duplicate them to two. Now you see this one, let me change it a little bit so that you can know what I'm doing, since it is the picture of the same person. Let me recolor one here. So now we have this one that is gray and we have this one that is normal. So now let's see, when we say that we want you to send this one backward, do you see it's now backward here? So do you see it's backward? If we like, we can position it like this, or we can use cropping. We can crop this text. When I click on this one, this is crop here. I click on the cropping, I will adjust this environment. Sorry, I'm not cropping. It's not that I'm cropping. Make sure that you hold this node. So I crop it like this, and then I crop this environment like this. I crop this one like this. I also click on the other one, click on the crop, and I crop it like this gently. When you left click, then you drag your mouse to the right like this. You left click and you drag your mouse to the left. So I have two pictures here. So now this one is behind this one. If I want to bring it forward, you just click here and say bring it forward. You see, it's now forward. It's over this one. Now if I want to bring this one forward, I also click here and say bring this one forward. You see, so this is what this environment means. This is alignment. How to align it? You make it to the left, or you make it to the center, or align it right. So anyway you want to align it to the top, to the bottom. This is how the alignment is all about. So Ctrl Z to come back. So this is how it is. So sometimes we have many options here. Now you say this one, you say distribute horizontally, distribute vertically. I will show you this one. I will spend some time here to show you this one. I want you to understand this point very well. Since I'm not around, I will not have any option than to go to my shapes and then make it practical, so that you see. Ctrl D, I will select it, I will arrange it like this, and then I will bring it like this. Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. So I have many of those options like this. I want you to see what we mean by align and distribute vertical. I'm selecting this one to delete them because I have them more than the number I need. The space will not contain them. So now let's see how to align this one and distribute them vertically or horizontally. Let's say these are the objects in your project you are creating, or any document you are creating, and you want to decorate them. You want to write something, but you cannot align them the way they are seen. If you see the space between the first and the two and this one, you see they are different. That means human cannot arrange this thing the way to fit in automatically corrected the way it is supposed, but computer will help you do it because computer use calculation. So now let's click on the align here, come here and say distribute distribute horizontally. So when I click, do you see it? Now it's distributed horizontally perfectly, giving it a perfect size and perfect spacing between them. Do you see it? Now when I go to align again and I say distribute vertically, select everything, then I say distribute vertically. Sorry, it's horizontal already, so let's make it vertical for distribution. Let's make it vertical. Let's make it vertical for distribution. Sorry, I'm doing something different here. So let me arrange them vertically. Then I will allow you to distribute it the way it's supposed to be distributed. Let's just use this tool for example since my time is up. So I click on the align here, then I align it, then I click on the align. Okay, sorry, I have only one, so it will not know whether it is vertical or it is horizontal, so it will not know. So I'm stopping by now. Let me try to see how I will help you do this one. Sometimes you may need it when I come, especially when we go to Corel Draw and design. We'll know how to design these kind of things. It will make your work appear very beautiful, fantastic, and in a very way like somebody have calculated and numbered the inches of the work. Now you see these things are not I click on the control, then I'm selecting this object so that I select them all at once. Now click on the align here, then click on the align distribute vertically. Can you see? Now it is arranged systematically. Now let's turn this thing to normal size like this. You see they are not arranged the way they are supposed. So let's select everything and say align middle. You see they have all come to the middle at once. So when I click on here and then I say align bottom, when I click I say align distribute vertically. So sorry, when I say distribute vertically, distribute horizontally. So let's Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z to have our work the way it's supposed to be. So let's click on the alignment here, align vertically. So you see our work is aligned vertically. Vertically is from top to down. So I select only one. I selected only one. Let's select the 4 of them and click on the align distribute vertically. Do you see it? It's distributed vertically. This is all about it. Sometimes we may need it in doing our work, and it will also help us to do many things. So this is all about alignment. You can align center like I said before. You can align it left. You can align everything to the middle. Then Ctrl Z to the middle. It brings everything together at once. So this is all about the alignment here in layout. Don't forget, this is Microsoft Office Word 16. We are in layout tab, and we have treated the page setup group where we have our margins, our orientation, then and etc. So the next thing here is just rotation. How to rotate it to 90 degree, to 60 degree, to all the degrees depending on the degrees you want. So click on the rotation. You see the way we are rotating it, flip, horizontal, vertical, and whatsoever. Can you see it? So this is very simple. Thanks for watching. This is Emmanuel Benjamin from Benjo's Computer Training College, Kaltungo. So we are